December 12, 1944. 0547 a.m. Northern Honshu, Japan. Snow blankets the mountains, frost chokes the valleys. The cold cuts through the bomber crew's flight suits as 20 B-29 super fortresses glide silently into enemy territory. Each bomber weighs over 60,000 pounds, engines roaring in synchronized fury. Inside, every crew member knows the stakes. One misstep, one glance the wrong way, and death comes faster than a heartbeat. For 4 long years, the Japanese Zero ruled the skies, striking like shadows unseen until it was too late. Entire bomber formations had been shredded, morale shattered, missions aborted. The Pacific Air War seemed unwinnable until today. A silver glint appears in the horizon, sleek, metallic, deadly. The P-51 Mustang slices through the clouds. With a range of 1,650 miles, it can escort American bombers deep into the heart of Japan, far beyond anything Zero could chase. Japanese pilots squint against the pale dawn, confident in their invincibility. They do not yet realize their supremacy is over. Above them, a predator moves with speed, precision, and lethal intent. The skies that once belonged entirely to Japan are now contested. Below, the B-29s continue their march, unaware of the approaching storm. Soon, fire and fury will rain from both sides. Today, Japan will face a threat it cannot outrun, cannot outmaneuver, and cannot ignore. And history will record it as the day the Mustang shocked Japan and changed the air war forever. December 12, 1944, 6:05 a.m., Northern Honshu, Japan. The P-51 Mustang slices through the dawn sky. Sleek, silver, deadly. Top speed, 437 miles per hour. Combat range, 1,650 miles. Armament, 6.50 caliber Browning, M2 machine guns, spitting fire with terrifying precision. The Japanese Zero, once the master of the Pacific, can only reach 331 miles per hour, with a range that barely scratches the edge of the homeland. Agile, yes, but fragile. Fast, yes, but blind to the Mustang's reach. For the first time, American bombers have a shield, a predator that hunts with lethal intent, striking deep where the enemy thought they were safe. Mustang pilots glide with calm precision, knowing their machine is faster, stronger, and more deadly than anything Japan can throw at them. Zero pilots scramble, hearts pounding, wings shivering under the cold. Their guns spray, engines scream, but the Mustang dances between them effortlessly. In this moment, a silent truth becomes clear. The sky belongs to the Mustang now. This is more than a plane. It is fear made tangible, dominance made steel, inevitability made air. Today, the Mustang doesn't just fight. It shocks a nation, destroys complacency, and changes the very rules of air combat. December 12, 1944. 6:30 a.m., Northern Honshu, Japan. The homeland is on high alert. Cities are silent, streets empty. Factories stand like tombs. Anti-aircraft batteries dot the coastline, their guns pointing skyward, ready to scream fire at the first sign of American bombers. Radar stations hum continuously, operators gripping controls with white-knuckled hands. Every blip, every shadow on the screen could signal the death of a pilot, a squadron, a city. Japanese fighter pilots, many barely out of their teens, have been pushed to the limit. Years of relentless war across the Pacific have drained both machines and men. Engines fail mid-flight. Supplies run thin. Fuel rations limit training flights. Morale frays. and yet they must defend the heart of their nation. The Zero, agile and lethal in close combat, has dominated the skies of the Pacific. But now a new threat appears on the horizon: the P-51 Mustang. Faster, stronger, almost invincible in range and firepower. The Mustang pilots glide calmly at dawn, shielded by altitude, observing the chaos below. From the clouds, they can see the Japanese scrambling. Engines roaring, wings trembling, hearts pounding. Their guns fire, desperate, but the predator above is untouchable. This is a pivotal moment. For the first time, Japan faces a predator it cannot outrun, cannot outmaneuver, and cannot anticipate. Every sortie, every maneuver, every heartbeat carries the weight of fate. The stage is set for shock, devastation, and a turning point that will echo through history. Above the silent factories and tense cities, the silver streak of the Mustang slices through the morning light. It is a harbinger, a warning, a force that will redefine the skies above Honshu forever. December 12, 1944. 7 a.m., northern Honshu skies. The P-51 Mustang is more than metal and rivets. It is a herald of supremacy. Empty weight, 7,000 pounds. Maximum takeoff weight, 12,100 pounds. Fuel capacity allows it to escort bombers over 1,500 miles without refueling. Altitude, up to 41,000 feet. Top speed, 437 miles per hour at 25,000 feet, almost 100 miles per hour faster than the nimble Zero. Armament, 6.50 caliber M2 Browning machine guns, a relentless storm of firepower. Each Mustang could unleash over 400 rounds per gun per minute, capable of tearing through a Zero's fragile wings in seconds. Compare that to the Zero's two 20mm cannons and two 7.7mm machine guns. Deadly in close dogfights, yes, but hopeless when a Mustang glides in at high altitude. Unseen, untouchable, delivering precision fire. Its Rolls-Royce Merlin engine is a masterpiece. Reliability at high altitudes, rapid climbs, and exceptional maneuverability for such a large frame. The Zero, by contrast, is a featherweight fighter, ultra-agile yet vulnerable. Light armor, fuel tanks exposed, and engines that falter at altitude make it a glass cannon. One well-placed burst from a Mustang could end its life in a heartbeat. Now imagine the psychological battlefield. American bomber crews once feared every sortie, every shadow in the clouds. Now, with Mustangs above, confidence surges. Japanese pilots, every blip on radar, every shadow in the sun, every roar above is a silent promise of death. They are forced to climb, dive, weave, desperately trying to predict a machine that moves faster, climbs higher, and fires with deadly precision. The Mustang dominates not only by numbers, but by mastery of physics, engineering, and the human spirit. It is a predator in the sky, and in the Pacific, the rules of combat are forever rewritten. No longer could the Zero rule unchallenged. The Mustang has arrived, and the very skies of Japan will never be the same. December 12, 1944, 7:30 a.m., northern Honshu, Japan. Captain James Jimmy McAllister, 354th Fighter Squadron, grips the throttle of his P-51 Mustang, heart pounding. Below, the first B-29 formations cut through the thin morning mist, their silver bodies reflecting the weak sunlight. His mission: escort these bombers to Tokyo, a journey of over 1,200 miles, under the shadow of the Imperial Japanese Air Force. Suddenly, a blip on radar, a squadron of Zero fighters climbing fast, engines screaming, guns ready. Jimmy's breath catches. He recalls the training, the countless hours in simulators, the aerial maneuvers drilled into him. But nothing could prepare him for this, the cold reality of life and death in the sky. He rolls the Mustang hard, weaving through clouds, bullets tearing through the air. The Zeros dive, each maneuver more desperate than the last. Jimmy fires his 6.50 caliber M2s, tracer rounds lighting the sky like deadly fireworks. A Zero shudders under the hailstorm of bullets, smoke curling from its engine. Another spirals out of control, crashing into the dense pine forest below. The adrenaline is a physical force, slamming against his chest with every heartbeat. Hours feel like minutes. Every second counts. He sees a B-29 taking fire, its engines on the verge of failing. Jimmy dives, intercepting a Zero attempting to finish it off. A burst from his Mustang's nose guns tears through the enemy fighter, saving the bomber. Cheers are impossible, but the relief is visceral, coursing through every fiber of his body. By 9 a.m., the sky's clear. Mustang pilots and B-29s are intact, but the cost is etched in the smoke trails, in the downed Zeros, in the memories of those who fought. Jimmy looks around, the adrenaline ebbing, and realizes the true power of the Mustang. Not just speed or firepower, but the ability to tip the scales of war, to instill courage in allies and fear in enemies. The Pacific War had changed forever. December 12, 1944. 9:15 a.m. Tokyo airspace. The skies over Tokyo explode in chaos. Mustangs dart like silver bullets among the clouds, while the B-29s maintain their disciplined formation, engines roaring. Jimmy McAllister spots the largest threat yet, a formation of 20 Zero fighters diving directly at a squadron of vulnerable bombers. Time slows. Every Mustang pilot knows that one mistake could mean death. Jimmy banks hard, weaving between tracer fire, chasing down a Zero that broke formation. He fires a burst. Smoke erupts from the enemy engine. Another Mustang joins him, cutting off the remaining Zeros. Below, flak from Japanese anti-aircraft guns lights up the sky in violent orange bursts. The bombers wobble, but Jimmy's squadron shields them, diving into danger repeatedly. One Zero gets too close to a B-29. Jimmy intercepts, colliding fire streams with the enemy. The Zero spirals out of control and crashes into Tokyo Bay. Another Mustang pilot, Lieutenant Harris, takes down a Zero with a precise burst, saving the bomber trailing him. Within 15 minutes, the skies calm. 8 Zeros downed, several more damaged. The bomber formation remains intact. The Japanese forces are stunned. Their fear of the long-range Mustang escorts becomes reality. Intelligence reports later confirm it. The Mustang's appearance over Japan's home islands for the first time shocked the enemy command, altering their defensive strategies for months to come. Jimmy exhales. The cost is visible. Smoke trails, wreckage in the ocean. But the mission is a success. The Mustang has proven its lethal combination of speed, range, and firepower. For the first time, American long-range fighter escorts have shown they can penetrate the heart of Japan and return unscathed. The Pacific theater would never be the same. The December 12th escort mission over Tokyo was more than just a daring raid. It was a seismic shift in aerial warfare in the Pacific Campaign. For years, Japanese defense planners had assumed the home islands were beyond the reach of American fighters. The B-29s could bomb, but they were vulnerable without escort. When the P-51 Mustangs appeared, slicing through the clouds with deadly precision, that illusion shattered. The psychological impact was immediate. Reports from Japanese command speak of stunned officers, hastily changing defensive protocols, reassigning fighter units, and dispersing anti-aircraft batteries in panic. The Mustang's long-range capability meant that no Japanese city was safe from the combined strike of bomber and escort. Tokyo, Nagoya, Kobe, and Osaka, previously considered relatively secure, were suddenly within reach. Fear spread faster than the actual firepower. But the significance was not only psychological. Strategically, the Mustang escorts allowed the United States to conduct bombing raids with far greater effectiveness. Losses decreased dramatically, morale among bomber crews soared, and the overall tempo of the air campaign accelerated. Targets deep within Japan could now be struck regularly, disrupting war production, transportation, and military infrastructure. The Mustang turned a high-risk mission into a manageable operation, changing the calculus of the war. For the American pilots, the Mustang became more than a machine. It was a symbol of hope, courage, and superiority. Dogfights over Tokyo taught hard lessons in aerial tactics, coordination, and precision, creating a generation of pilots confident they could confront any threat, anywhere. The aircraft's versatility, speed, range, and firepower set a new standard for air combat, influencing fighter design and doctrine long after the war ended. Ultimately, the December 12th mission and the Mustang's performance redefined the balance of power in the Pacific. It demonstrated that technology, when combined with skill and daring, could penetrate even the most fortified air defenses. It reminded both sides that the war in the skies was not merely about machines. It was about human courage, ingenuity, and the ability to turn a single aircraft into a game changer. The Mustang did not just escort bombers, it reshaped the entire aerial campaign, breaking the Japanese belief in invulnerability, boosting American morale, strategic options, and signaling that the end of the war could be hastened by air power that no enemy could ignore. As the sun sets over the Pacific horizon and the silhouettes of Mustangs vanish into the clouds, the story of aerial dominance is far from over. Countless missions, untold pilots, and forgotten battles await in the shadows of history. Every dive, every dogfight, every bomber escorted across enemy skies has a story that shaped the fate of nations. Step closer and witness the hidden truths of World War II. The Mustangs were not just machines. They were harbingers of change, symbols of courage, and instruments that altered the course of the war. Join us at Oblivion Archive, where every mission, every weapon, and every hero whose name has been lost in history comes alive. The skies of the past are calling, and their stories are waiting for you.